Jim Piccola was here. He drove immediately right over here. Andrew,
Listen, you
got to give your mic to Jim. He's got to be able to respond.
Literally,
Andrew.
you should consider me every time you make a road decision in this city. No, seriously,
God.
because
Jim,
nobody has more.
He tells Nick Matt the same thing, by the way.
For the record, this was not planned. You were not being ambushed.
No, I heard on the way out of the gym this morning, and I said I have to drive over here because, listen, nobody has more lifetime road experience than me. Bill, for 14 years, we were driving around the city of Utica. I know these streets like the back of my hand.
Yes.
I'm already still upset about this little one-lane closure getting off by Nicky Doodles. I'm going to just be honest. If you see a black truck in the other path that has the white lines, it's me because I make 2 lanes there. Jim, you have to. The people I'm just going to say this. People drive stupid. So they don't know how to just continue the flow of traffic, and you've caused them now to wedge. And now I have to sit behind them. I'm obviously going to be in the other lane, and I do.
Don't shoot the messenger.
I know.
You should go over and turn left if you're on 512. What is it? 12-5, whatever our road there is. Over by the Onondaga. So you're turning left onto 12B by Killebrew. I'm going to put up a camera over there, and I'm just going to videotape everybody flipping people off because that is what happens there all day long.
Do you get in the left lane to hurry up?
I believe
in the right lane to hurry up.
I really believe this is a whole Killebrew conspiracy because when you're done with that turn, you need a drink. You need a drink.
Well, how do you think they remodeled? They got all this extra income coming in.
Okay,
there,
we have some paving stuff to talk about. Yeah. Can you be quiet while he explains?
I'll refrain.
All right.
What's the paving on? Is this on the John Street roundabout?
There's a whole paving.
Can I ask a question about that first?
Yeah. Okay. Jim, you're never going to leave us today.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Jim Piccola, DOT.
Just a clarification. First, the way 5S Oriskany Street is set up as you're approaching John Street, which is the OD, and then going beyond past Genesee Street, it's kind of like
you're
a
traveling
snake,
west.
You're traveling west.
Right? And I'm sure that's partially to curb the speed of traffic. Right? It snakes. Once you go past Broad Street, it kind of bends right. And then once you get by the OD, it kind of bends back left to go by the OD. To me, it's like a little snake. So I guess my question is...
I don't think, by the way, we thought this stuff out years ago when this all happened. I think, progress, you add, and we end up with what we have today. This really, what they're doing today, correct me if I'm wrong, is more correcting paths from the past.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I know I interrupted your question.
That's okay.
No.
Well, my question on the snake is, will it straighten out? Is part of the plan to straighten that out, or will it still snake that way?
It'll mostly parallel your eastbound lane. You're going to shift your westbound lane closer to the eastbound lane, and you're going the width there is going to be much narrower. So, like you said, you'll have 2 lanes instead of 3 lanes in each direction. And again, once you cross like Genesee Street and you're heading east, you have J Street. There's just a lot of pavement. It adds to a lot of confusion. And again, with this new project, it's going to be safer, even though it may take a little bit longer to go through that corridor. It's definitely going to make it much safer for the motorists and also pedestrians, through that corridor. And that's what we want to see because you're downtown. We want people, as things, start to bloom downtown and, people are down there. You got Utica College now with a lot of students, and maybe they want to go over to Bag Square area and vice versa. So, it's going to be a good thing for the city.
This is really an effort against people like me and Joe.
I like driving circles, but we need retraining in Central New York.
That's not what I'm saying, though. We like to be able to get on those, like Genesee Street. Mm-hmm. If I could hit every green light, I'm doing 60. That's the problem. That's why they're there. It's to prevent people from, the higher your speed. I just saw this on NBC News last night. The higher the speed, the increase of a fatal accident goes up tremendously every 5 miles per hour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not everybody has the qualifications, the skills as a NASCAR driver like us.
Yes.
I mean, we know how to bob, weave, hit the brake, gas, and go.
I can do all that stuff. I could flip the car if I need
Right.
to.
I remember you and your Prelude. You ain't got to tell me. I remember.
Just very quickly.
I remember the tickets, too.
Before we move on to paving, you had brought a guy in when you first announced this project, and I did a video with him kind of explaining what it's going to look like in the road diet and everything else. So if you go to our YouTube channel, just Google, just search John Street Roundabout, and there's a guy walking you through step by step what it's going to look like. Yes,
Brian
it
Hoffman,
was.
Our regional director.
Thank you.
Our regional design engineer. Yes.
So it's on our YouTube page, and it dates back to probably a year ago or more when you guys announced the project. So you can get a better look if you're confused by our conversation.
Okay, and one other item I'd like to say is this stoplight down here, when you get off the, what am I getting off? 49, when you get off in Marcy.
49,
And you want to take a left-hand turn onto River Road, that, whatever triggers that light is now working perfectly. I love it.
It'll stop in 2 months.
I almost
it's
wonder
working
if
really well.
The cold weather
Maybe.
messes
I don't
with
know.
that. I don't
There's
know.
there's a trigger in the ground, right?
Well, yeah, there's loops in the ground, in the pavement, and if something's not working, we know that. Our traffic signal folks are able to talk to the cabinet.
Yeah.
So if there's something that's not right, they can figure that out. So.
I also like the timing of. I see that you guys work on different timing. I can go depending on the time of day to a certain stoplight, and I'll stop. It'll turn green 20 seconds later.
Right.
Later in the day, when traffic is very, very heavy, it takes a little longer. Maybe the traffic isn't heavy from where I'm coming from, but heavy in the main thoroughfare. So it does seem like you guys are timing things out to make it easier to get through these intersections.
Yep, they're very smart, the intersections.
The crazy things that really drive us.
I have one other problem.
Oh, great.
While you're here,
He's got to go to a Boston.
I'm sorry.
He's going to a Boston game.
They're going to lose. Don't worry about it. Riscony Boulevard. Okay, this is the new torture because every morning I have to go to Riscony Boulevard to get to Yorkville and get to work. So the left-hand turn now that you can go up Chapman Road there to St. Luke's. Okay, left to pass. Please, can we reiterate this somehow in the United States? The left lane is to pass, not to sit there and gawk because you got to make a left-hand turn 4 miles up the road. So if I'm at the fast track on a Riscony Boulevard and you're in the left lane because you got to turn to go up Chapman Road there to go to St. Luke's, then get over on the right-hand lane until you're about almost there, then switch lanes.
You're
in my way.
You are never.
You know who you are.
You're
a
going to
Prius
die.
driver. I don't like you.
Every
morning.
You're going to die of a massive heart attack. Your blood pressure has got to be.
My doctor said I'm stellar.
Okay.
If I didn't have kidney stones, I'd be the perfect example of what everybody should be.
And I don't want to talk any more about you passing that kidney stone because it's scaring the daylights out of me what you went through. Wayne, quickly, Jim Piccola's in studio. This interview has gone and turned into a wreck. Wayne, you're on the radio. Go ahead and ask your question.
All right. With all the stuff that you guys do with I don't know if he's involved with parks and roads and roundabouts and building walk bridges and bike paths and everything, how come nobody addresses the nasty street of the inner city like they do with all this other stuff? These inner city streets are so horrible. Nobody looks at them. And I know they paved some of them, but they don't look at most of West Utica and Cornhill. Nasty. It's horrible.
Well, but Jim's state,
Wayne, I'm going to let you hang up and listen to Jim's response to that, okay? And Wayne, no more asking for speed checks on the arterial. Come on.
No,
you're killing me. You're killing me over there.
He made my commute about 2.5 minutes longer now.
I will tell you that works because I have slowed down on the arterial. I'm following the speed limit, so it does work. But in regards to that, because there was an issue a few weeks ago in the village of Mohawk where people were complaining about potholes in the streets, large potholes, and one was Columbia Street. And it depends. Some are state roads, some are county, city, village, and township.
So you guys wouldn't come in and redo James Street, right? You do state roads.
We do state roads.
Yeah.
Yep,
so and that's 5S.
Yeah. So any of that inner city stuff is your city government you have to deal with.
And and we're up against the same thing. Right now we use what they call cold patch material.
Right.
It's not as good as the hot mix. The plants hopefully will be opening soon with the better weather. And once that becomes available, you'll see that a lot of the potholes that are fixed, the material will stay in there, and you'll have a much better ride in.
Joe, remember the time that we went over and we were at the other radio station and we took out a truck and we started filling potholes?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Awesome. But isn't there some kind of a new material?
Cones and flag people and everything. It was really cool.
It was like a whole ordeal.
It was illegal. It was very illegal.
Yeah,
Well, back then,
very illegal.
there wasn't anything that was illegal. We did it all.
I hate to do this to you, but Mark, did you have another question too? Or you're done?
No. I just
Mark
thought there's got to be some kind of a new material. I thought I saw, on the internet, because that has everything out there about using recycled tires.
This is a great question.
Yeah, like to pave the roads with recycled rubber material. I don't know if that would work here.
I saw something on that too.
It's central New York, but I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong. There was an idea to include the rubber in the concrete, and it would, especially with the expanding and contracting,
concrete or macadam that we're talking about,
or
whatever it is, whatever your road is made of,
asphalt.
It would expand and contract with the cold weather, and the rubber in it would make it not break so easily and crumble the way it does. But if I'm not mistaken, Governor Cuomo pushed this hard, and the union said, no, less paving, longer roads means less paving, which means less jobs and work.
Oh,
and this goes back 2 or 3 years, and I'm pretty sure on that.
Yeah. I know we've done testing before with different materials. I remember when I was at the asphalt plants, we used to put glass just like in the base in the binder material, not on the top course material. Kind of gone away with that too, but we're always looking for new things that can make the roads last longer. It's like I heard one of the coldest Aprils we've had. And,
I mean,
it's a long winter, and our roads get beat.
Heat up remember February? It was 70 degrees.
Yeah.
We had every time you got 3 feet of snow. It seemed this winter it would warm up like abnormally. Everything would melt, and then we'd start all over again. All that does is creates all that heaving, and it's really what creates all of the potholes.
And you have that deep freeze and then thaw. It really creates havoc. With
Mark
the roads.
has a traffic light question in Rome. Oh Lord, the lines are loaded.
It's okay.
315-736-0186. You're not going to get to your Red Sox game. I'm sorry.
It's a night
He's got
game,
the
right?
jacket on. I think the motor is
ready to
calling
go.
him.
Fine.
All right, Mark, you're on the radio. Go ahead.
Hey, I was just wondering, with all of the effort that's being put into like driverless cars and things like that, are we doing anything to smarten up traffic lights? It seems like that would be a great place to start. It would be much easier than driverless cars, and a great way to save money. I spend so much time sitting at intersections when there's no traffic coming through, and you wait there 40 seconds and things like that. Well, why can't we get a really smart traffic light?
All right, Mark, hang up and listen to Jim's answer.
We do have them. They're not at every intersection, but definitely the traffic intersections are much smarter with the traffic signals. We can control them
remotely. I've seen it. If you've ever been in a situation where there's a big event,
Comets game,
we'll see actually someone out there with a remote control unit that's controlling the stoplights.
Yeah, and then also, again, we can do that right from the office. We have a lot of cameras out there now, so we monitor the traffic from our TMC. Again, we can program these things, like especially like say on Commercial Drive during Christmas. We know how that traffic gets. We keep on main line green a lot longer, so they definitely are smart.
And it's the technology we talked about this morning. Is those little sensors in the pavement can tell
those as well.
Is there a vehicle
absolutely.
here? Is it worth actually changing from red to green? If there's no vehicle, we're not going to change.
We should have like a hotline number we could call. I'm at the corner of Court and the Arterial. I've been sitting here for quite a while. Want to trigger this thing for me?
Or that Broadway by the odds, that one you wait a while.
Bob in Utica, you're on the radio.
I keep forgetting they got cameras up there. I have a red truck. Red.
Hi, Bob. Go ahead. Is it Bob on line 1? On line 2, I mean? Why don't you double check? Is it? And then Michael is on 3? Mike, you're on the radio. Is this Bob?
No.
Okay.
Mike.
Whoever you are, please talk. Go ahead.
I got a question for Jim.
Okay.
What are they going to do with Broad and 5S? And are they going to pave the new arterial project between where they started and Burstone Road?
Let's see. Your last question was, we did pave that last year between Broad and Burstone Road. It was paved last year. And I didn't get the other question with...
On the arterial where the bridge is, I think he said Burstone?
No, I'm talking about the Broad and 5S.
Broad and 5S.
Yes.
So you're saying, what are you going to do over there? Is that what your question is?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you're, in particular, you'd be talking about turning off of Broad or onto Broad?
The way the intersection is, it's like the speedway to beat the light.
Right. I see, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that intersection is pretty much going to stay like it is. But as you come across and you're heading west, getting into our 5S project, you'll see definitely changes there. The road will narrow. There will be sidewalks. There will be a bike path. And then, again, once you hit John Street, you'll hit a roundabout. And then you'll have your new intersection at Genesee and Oriskany Street.
All right. Okay. Sure. Okay. Thanks. Whatever your name is, thank you.
You need speed bumps, though. like over there where Leland Ave is when you get off the arterial,
more
you got
speed
those
bumps.
little grooves so you
Speed
can feel it. You
Bob-
almost need that at the NF5.
Bob in Utica, you're on the radio.
It would be fun.
Hey, guys.
Hi, go ahead with your question. Jim Piccola from DOT.
Hey, Jim. So it seems like there's a lot of controversy about the project downtown. What about extending the Marcy-Utica Expressway over to 5S from 790 over through the flats to 5S?
Yeah, that's something that is out there, but again, we'll take one project at a time. Like I said, we want to get this one done on 5S, and we're also looking, in the future at the interchange with the Thruway and Genesee Street as that area develops.
That certainly might help if the hospital goes downtown.
Yeah.
Having that thoroughfare is something that can move through quickly and safely would be, I imagine, helpful.
And Jim, a yield sign still does
All right,
mean
Bob, thank you.
yield, right? Not stop. I just want to clarify that.
And Leon, the last call I can take, and then we're going to talk paving. Leon
in Prius is listening.
In Waterville. Leon, you're on. Go ahead.
Okay, two questions.
Yes.
To go back to the Anadas's question there with those two lanes turning left toward Clinton.
Yes.
Why is that considered safe to have two lanes that within a short distance must merge into one? That's totally unsafe.
And no one understands the concept of you go, then I go, you go, then I go. The alternating courtesy. No one seems to understand that.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And it won't change. I believe DOT should make a change there and make that one lane. That is just totally unsafe.
The other unsafe part, I hate to be doing this to you.
No, it's
the
okay.
other unsafe part, Leon, and it sounds like if you're in Waterville, you travel that often. So if you're in the right lane there and you're turning left onto 12B, it's now going to merge into one lane, and it gets tricky when two cars decide they're going to slowly turn into either the liquor store or Killebrew. Now you're trying to merge, and all of a sudden everything comes to a complete stop.
Yeah.
It's a tricky little intersection.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it.
Yes, it is. And
Why is it even like that to begin with? Why wouldn't they change that to make that safer?
We need to challenge
well,
ourselves.
it's two lanes because they must have traffic counts there, so you need stacking, so you got enough people to make that movement.
Right.
Again, it's just being courteous and giving someone the opportunity to merge.
You're asking a lot.
Courteous is good, but it's not safe.
Yeah,
People
well,
are not courteous on the road.
Yeah, I'm with you, Leon, on this one. I think there's courtesy and then there's stupidity
Yes.
as well.
We got time for one more quick one?
Go ahead.
Sure.
This is a stoplight question, and it's basically in the same area by Utica Mutual. Why is the stoplight situation when there's a green arrow to the right going south on Route 12, and then it's going to go to a green light to go straight ahead after that? However, the green light goes off, the light is momentarily red, and then within a few seconds goes to green. Why does that arrow go off? It does not make sense.
Well, the arrow when the arrow goes on green, that means you have a protected right there. Okay, so there's not traffic coming the other way. So when that goes off, then you have to look to see if traffic is coming your way. So that's why they have the.
So it'd be just a green light versus a green arrow.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
You also have
but there's not enough. There's only seconds.
Yeah.
That green arrow should stay on and go off when the green light comes on. If you watch that through several circuits, you'll see it does not make sense at all.
And this would be turning. You'd be westbound. You're turning onto 12, not 12B, right?
No, this is right in front of Utica Mutual. This is turning south on Route 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's going eastbound.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. Just
All right.
have someone watch that. It just does not make any sense whatsoever.
All right, Leon. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
it. Okay.
Instead of his game, he's going back to the office. And
I'm telling you, Jim, you just draw the phone calls. It's crazy.
I would feel honored.
I am out of time, though. You are out of time. However, You came here for something completely different than what we talked about, and that is the paving, additional paving money that we've received. Talk about that.
Yeah, the governor came out with $100 million of additional funding for paving because of the rough winter, and we would definitely welcome that.
Yeah.
And here in the Mohawk Valley, which Region 2 makes up 6 counties, we got $9.8 million. So it's quite a bit of money, and we're going to put it to good use on a lot of roads that need to be taken care of.
Stop complaining, everybody. It's getting taken care of.
Does this, and back to Manasseh's question about, or a comment that, we don't have a cure to cancer because the pharmaceuticals would go broke. We don't have a solution with potholes because what would the pavers do? It is a conspiracy theory, but I do kind of wonder is I've completely lost my question now. This happened to Andrew, and now it's happened to me. It is. I set up the question. It took so much time setting up, I forgot the question. Horrible. Okay. Ultimately, here's the question: does it? Are we helping the labor force, or do you contract out for some of these jobs, or is it DOT people that are doing the work? Where I was going is this actually helping when it comes to employment?
Well, again, our roads need to be maintained. We have a capital program, which we contract out. It's competitive bidding. The contractors bid. Then we have our maintenance folks that are out there are constantly repairing the roadways. And when they get beyond what we can do with our maintenance, that's when we end up usually, contracting out.
And these paving projects, the major paving projects, tend to be contracted out.
Absolutely.
All right. So it's good for business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen local pavers.
And the big thing is the safety of the traveling public. Making the road safe for the traveling public.
Okay, and for those people that are out there working, going slowly through those construction zones, it's really an important thing. It's
absolutely
very dangerous out there as people are flying by.
There should be no tolerance to construction zones. Slow down.
Jim Piccola, DOT. Anything else you want to get going here? Or is we good for
How about
today?
them Yankees?
I was going to say,
thank you.
With the complaints we get, we ought to call him Jimmy effing Piccola.
Right.
All right, good stuff. Thank you.